Well, hello and welcome to Lloyd's Jewelry, our video channel. And we are on Etsy.com where we have a shop and we do hand-tied pearls and tin cup pearls and gemstone jewelry. And we've been a 5-star rated company on Etsy for about 8 years, and that proves we have good customer service, good products, and good prices. And the video channel that we have is associated with our Etsy.com site, and that's what this is today. It's a tutorial about the best method that I've found, and I've been at this for a while, to hand tie pearls. It's an easy method and we'll use it all to do it. And double Power Pro and double beater secret. We explain more about that as we go. And so we're going to talk about how to hand tie pearls today. We also offer a kit. This method is good for beginners. You literally can do a good job of hand tying pearls for yourself on your first try with this video. And you can find us always on Etsy.com by just typing in Lloyd's Jewelry. Lloyd's is spelled with 2 L's. And do not skip a space between the two, and there's no apostrophe. Lloyd's Jewelry, and then skip a space and put in Etsy. And you can find our YouTube channel the same way, except put in Lloyd's Jewelry and skip a space YouTube. So let's get started. We're going to hand tie some pearls, and we'll be using Power Pro, which is actually a Spectra line from Honeywell Corporation. All right, the method in this tutorial is a double line method, and we'll use a standard needle. We'll show the Power Pro that we'll use is Spectra line. It's used in bulletproof vest, so we know it's plenty strong. I'm showing it here in 10-pound spool by Beadsmith, 28 yards, and you can get it in several different sizes. Today we'll be using 30-pound because it passed the test. And the test we'll do next will show you whether you've got a good match between your pearls and your beading material. Now I show 2 awls there that we have in our kit along with the caliper. And that's just kind of starter kit if you need it. If you got an awl, you won't need it. The caliper is handy if you say you want to measure some pearls that you have at home and you plan to buy some of similar or different size, and you know what the size is, and the dealers will tell you if the size, if they don't show a size, you ask them, they'll tell you. Now on the left side we have Beater Secret. Now this is another line that's much better than silk, just as is the Power Pro. It's a very strong polyester cord. Now when you purchase it it is a number size instead of a pound size. The number 30 is the size that tests on the pearls we have, although we won't be using it today, but that's what passed the test. The numbering sizes is, as you get smaller numbers, you get thicker thread. The 30 is one size smaller than the 20, and the 20 is one size smaller than the 10. For the most part, if you order, and I'd order the 30, it's what you'll use on most pearls. Now to the left we have GIMP. GIMP is a finely coiled wire. It comes in gold color, silver color, and other colors. And I usually cut my GIMP to 10 millimeters for the beginning and ending. It's a little over a 1/4 inch. Now if you're doing Power Pro, you pretty well need a thread end burner. Now there's a couple of those on the internet. This is one. It's a little bit more expensive than the other one, but they all work the same. There's a heated element at the end, and we'll show that as we get started. So I think you're going to like this method. It's a double strand awl method, and by the way we seat the knots always go in the right place, the right strength. And if you're going to do it, so to find your beater secret, go to Etsy.com and just type in Beater Secret. Skip a space between beaters and secret, and Patty will ship you some out of Portland, Oregon. You also can get from Patty Power Pro in a 10 or 20 yard spool or bobbin like I show on the left, and that'll save you more money if you're just getting started and you don't want to buy a good little bit of it. So let's get started, and we'll look at that test first. If your pearls pass the test that we're going to show you, then you won't have to ream pearls at the beginning and the end, which is really something you'd rather not have to do if you can get by without it. Okay, here's a quick look at the pearls we'll be hand tying. We're going to do 20 inches of them. And they're big at about 13 millimeters, and you can see that by the caliper measurement that we put on from the right side here. They're high luster. In fact, you can see the window behind me reflected in it. And now let's get started and hand tie some pearls. All right, let's do a test on the material that we selected for this pearl stringing project we'll be doing in this demonstration. And we're going to do those big pearls we looked at earlier. And we put about 15 inches of power through the eye of a number 8 fine needle. This is the needle we get from Patty on her site where you get the beater secret. So we need to go down to the end and make a overhand knot. Now this is the same knot that we'll use throughout. It's so prevalent in pearl stringing that could be nicknamed a pearl knot. We just go over the top like this. And this is an overhand knot. And we put that overhand knot in there, pull it through the loop we made, and this is the same knot we'll be using throughout. So just pull that tight. See, that's the overhand knot. Later on we'll use an awl in the center, but for now let's just pull it tight like that. Now we're going to take our pearl, and we didn't want to know that that pearl won't slip back into the knot because it's supposed to be in between the pearls and hold them apart. So that's the purpose. So we're going to take this needle through. It went through easily. And down to the end. Now we need to know if that knot's the right size. So to do that, we just pull on it. Or it don't go back up in there. So it'll be in place and it'll hold the pearls apart. So we did a good test for that. Now on both ends, the beginning and the ending, we'll end up having to run 4 strands through. So we need to check that now. So we go back here a little ways, hold on to our pearl, and take our needle and see if it'll go back through. All right, the needle's going through good. Now, we're going to pull that and see if the all right, we pull it now, we'll have 4 strands through if that'll go through. All right, it will. So we now know that beginning and ending, we won't have to ring the pearls. We said before we want that to happen. And also, it's the right size for the pearls we'll be stringing. All right, to get started on our first batch here, we've measured off 100 inches of 30-pound Power Pro because 5 times the length we're going for, which is 20 inches, is 100 inches. And now we've doubled it, so we're down to 50 inches. And 50 inches is 127 centimeters. Now that's a good bit more than we actually will be stringing, but we want to have a good little bit left at the end as opposed to running out. And we want some room to do our stringing. So let's get started. Now the first thing we do is we go to the opposite end from the needle, which we just strung on. And we want to be a really big knot down here because this is going to be a temporary knot we'll take out. So we'll do several twists. And that makes us a knot that we can cut out later that certainly will be big enough to hold our pearls. So now we got that big temporary knot. Now the next thing we've done is strung on 4 pearls. They're not strung, not tied yet. And we'll get them down there close to our knot. And the next thing we put on is our gimp. And this is medium gimp. The gimp comes in 3 sizes: fine, medium, and heavy. And that has to do with the size of the hole through. So we got those pearls there ready to go, and we need to bring our gimp down. You need to thread your gimp on very slowly so it doesn't come unravel, which we've done. There's the gimp. We're going to bring the gimp down and get it about 4 inches or so from our pearls, because we're going to be using that space to do the starting point. Keep on moving it down. All right, now we got our gimp there. We're going to put on our clasp. This clasp is a 14 karat yellow gold clasp, and if you're picking out a clasp, I recommend making sure that you don't have a jump ring, like let's say a lobster with a jump ring. Use a pearl clasp. It'll have a closed loop at both ends, and that makes it durable. It won't come apart. So we'll also put on our clasp now, and we'll bring it down close to where we're at with the rest of our project. So now we got our clasp on and our gimp's in place. So we're going to take the needle now and go back through that first purl so we can seat our gimp and clasp in part in the project. So I'm going to take this up now so I can see it better. All right, we've got the needle started, and we'll just pull it through. Went through good, just like the test told us it would. Now we'll keep on pulling that string out. You need to do all this kind of slowly so that you don't get disorganized. Keep on pulling it. We've got a lot of string to pull. Now we're down toward the end here. So you got that gimp on one side, and there's your clasp. So we hold this up because we're going to attach that gimp and clasp to the first purl. So pull that slowly. Now when we get that all down there together, that gimp will form a perfect U shape, and it gives that professional look that you want. Keep working with it till you get the gimp down to the purl. Now it's beginning to form that U shape already. Now we want that tight, so we pull that line. This is one line that's got the needle on it. Pull that really good and tight. Now there's your professional start. That's exactly the way pearls look if you buy them at the jewelry store and pay a huge price. Now we're going to make our knot here. This is a little different from what we'll do later. We'll just take this overhand like this, overhand knot, and go through the hole and pull all that thread through towards you. Now bring that down to your purl, and we're going to pull it both directions. It's similar to the knot we'll be using later. Now we pull this really tight. Now we've got them started. So we got that started going. So now I'm going to put a little glue on this. We don't really need to glue this. However, to get a little extra strength, which I usually like to do, we will glue it. Now this knot's very unlikely to come loose, but we're going to put a little extra strength in there. That's GS Hypo Cement. You can get it a lot of places throughout the internet, and it was originally for watchmakers. It's a clear drying contact cement, and it'll be ready to work with in about 30 seconds. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a drop on that knot. Like I say, the kind of knot we got, it's not likely that you'll need to do this because there's no place for these strings to go. Now let's set that aside a moment and let it dry. All right, we've just put our needle back through that second purl from the top, and you can see that upper line there is the needle line. So I'm going to pull that up there now, and we'll take this purl right on up to where that one was. So bring the purl up and pull the line tight. Pull both of them good and tight. Now we got that purl in the right place. Let's make a standard overhand knot. And this time we'll just use the purl since we got to save all that length. So we'll just make a loop and drop the pearls through. Now we got that knot going. Just bring it right up to the purl and pull it tight both directions. No need to glue this knot. Now let me take it off camera here. All right, we've now run a needle through that third purl, and we're just going to start pulling very carefully here to make sure that the line don't get tangled. Pull all that string right on through. All right, now we got the string through. Bring that purl up all the way. And then we'll pull both lines to make sure that it's in the right place. And we'll just use the purl again because it's a little more convenient. Over, back, through. That's your standard overhead knot. So it's a standard overhand knot. Come right on down. Now pull that tight again. So we got that last one, and this time we're going to run the needle through. We got our needle through that last purl there of the part we're doing at the front, which is 4 purls. And we'll just pull that up tight. And this time we won't do a knot. And I'll show you why. Pull that up tight. Now I'm going to introduce a tool that you really need for this project, and it's a thread end burner. Now there's about 3 different versions of it on the internet, and the one I have is the one I'll show you now. It's the this one's a little bit more expensive than the other 2, and they probably all work the same. This is a thread end burner, and this one's called the Perfect End Burner. And you use 1 AA battery. And if you search for it on the internet, on Etsy, you find that this is a little bit more expensive version. The other ones do the same kind of thing. And when you touch this button, you got a battery inside. That end gets extremely hot. It might even glow, and it might have a little wisp of smoke from your previous job, but this is what you need with Power Pro. It's good for Peter's Secret too, in order to cut the thread. So we're going to use this thread end burner to cut out the temporary knot strand so we'll be ready for our easy all method. And be sure, when you got this button pushed down, do not touch the end. You may think it's not working, the battery's going out, because the batteries go pretty quickly. But if you touch that end, you might get burned. So let's just check out here at the far end. Checking out the far end here. Okay, it's working. So now, be sure you've got the one you want to cut. All right, and not the needle eye. Be sure and cut the right one. So that temporary knot now is off to my left, off to my right. So I'm just going to get as close as you dare here. And it'll melt that down real quickly, and it will not burn the purl. Just get in there and just put it right down. Got the button pushed down, just do that right there. All right, now that's out of the way, and we're ready to begin our real knotting method, or the easy all method, and that starts right now. All right, I've already put a knot on top of that 4th purl, and I used the awl method, and I'll be using it throughout. And I'm showing you now that the knot looks great and the stub part doesn't show. So I put on another purl, and we'll just take it down. And once we get it down, we're going to make our overhand knot. And we already did this on top of the 4th purl. This is the 5th purl. So just take it like this, go over your finger, and then drop it back through the hole, like that. Now pull that. Now we've got a loop there that's going to be our overhand knot. So we'll use an awl. Just put the awl down there. I've got a popsicle stick put down as a way to not deal with the fact this is a glass top table. And we're a long ways where we need to be. Just kind of slowly pull that. It goes right down to the purl. Let's kind of snug it up. That knot is fine. It's in the right place, but it's got a little hole in the middle. So the final tightening, we just take the lines apart and give a medium snug pull. You don't have to put your maximum strength there. Just all right. Now that is the 5th purl. Now we'll do the 6th purl, and then after that, we'll we'll do it off camera, save time, and then we'll get to the point we do the ending. So we put our pearls on one at a time, and we're taking them off the strand in order because they're already sequenced, and we take them off one at a time and put them on. Now the other method we'll use toward the end, it'll make the same exact knot. All right, there's a pearl that's up against it. See, we got a good knot there. Now we can make that same overhand knot by just going over our fingers this way, with the string end instead of the pearls. And then over the top like this, pinch that off, go through the hole we made, and pull the line through. Pull it slowly since you got so much line, you don't want it to tangle. And toward the end, it'll be easier to do it this way. Now we got our overhand loop knot. And here's a needle awl that's part of our kit that we offer. I've handmade these using some epoxy and some standard needles. Just put that down inside the loop there. Now if you get loops changing for some reason, one bigger than the other one, just pull the, and now once we get that done, we just pull and it'll go right in place. And once it gets in place, take the awl out. You don't really have to pull that too tight because it's going to be tight. And then just pull that two directions, medium snug. Now we're ready to go. Now we'll do that throughout. And this is two different awls that's in our kit. It's a needle awl that's made with handmade with a needle and some epoxy. And this is another awl, and that's part of a kit that we offer, just a tool kit. So now we'll do the rest of the strand out to the end. We get close to the end, we'll use a measurement tool of some sort, like a tape measure. Make sure our length is right, and then we'll show you the ending, which is a little bit different, and we've got some unique ways to do that. And we'll take it off camera now and continue to march on doing the pearl strand. Like I say, we'll use that same overhand knot throughout, all the way to the last three pearls. We finished our off-camera work, and we've got our pearls strung on. As soon as we got to the point that 3 pearls would finish us out to 20 inches, then we stopped our stringing method and put on 3 pearls loose. Now the last pearl we put on that's got a knot is this one here, and we put on 3 pearls there, and our gimp and the other section of clasp we put on also. So now we're going to go back through that pearl, and once we get back through it, we'll start working the clasp and the gimp in position. Now we get that pearl now next to the other pearls. That's where we want it to be, and start pulling that line down. All right, as we get it down there, we want that gimp to go in place and make that standard U shape that it does when it's doing its job. It's giving them. Make sure we got those pearls there close together. And start pulling. Work them down close together, close together. Pull some more. Close together. All right, now our gimp's doing what it's supposed to do. It's made that U shape, and our clasp part's in place. Now we need to make a knot. And this time it's the same knot, we just get there a little bit different way. Just go straight up and over the top and in that gap. And then we'll pull it through. All right, pull that really tight. Very tight. Now see, we got the right kind of gap. Now I'm going to use tweezers this time to go through that second pearl. That gives us a little bit of better shot at working it over that knot. So we kind of move it around so we get a space to run that line through there. Right, we finally got us a good angle on that. Bring it right on through. Once we get it through, put it on through. All right, now we're going to make that same knot again. We're getting a really secure connection here, just over the top and in the gap. Pull that through. And now we put it up tight. All right, now we don't need to do any more knotting. Knotting is fine. And see, that fourth pearl had a knot there already. So this gap between there's got a knot, and then we got a knot here. So now all we're going to do is we're going to pull that really tight. And we're going to take our thread end burner and very carefully make sure we got the right place. Heat it up, drop it in there just next to the hole. All right, now we have it. So we will add some glue to that. It's probably not actually required because it's pretty sturdy there. And we'll add some glue to it. Now we'll use our needle all the time. Make sure that stub end is down out of sight. And we finished the string. It's ready to go. Okay, here's the pearls we just did in the tutorial, and those big pearls, high quality pearls in the bottom strand there. And all the knots are in the right place, and with this video you can get your knots in the right place every time. And that's one of the main advantages of this technique. And in the upper side there we have some lavender pearls, and we'll be putting those on some beater secret. And there's some advantage using beater secret over Power Pro, and we'll talk about that just in a second here. But all the techniques we showed in doing the Power Pro demonstration earlier are exactly the same as you would do your beater secret in. So now let's look at a few workarounds and some final comments on this technique that'll be helpful to you, we think. Okay, we've already talked about Power Pro and how strong it is, how resistant it is to stretching or breaking. As a matter of fact, if you get it wet, it won't bother it. So it's a tremendously good type material to use for end time. We tried to find something that would cut it. It's very difficult to cut. We'll demonstrate that in just a second. And now we have found something that'll do it. And I don't work for this company. I just use this. It will cut it. Most things won't cut it. We'll show that in a minute. The left-hand side, we show the kit that we offer, and like I said before, if you've got a caliper and you've got some awls, you won't need it, or if you've got a way to measure pearls other than awl, you won't need it, but we'll offer this on our site. And now we'll demonstrate one of the reasons we prefer beater secret to Power Pro, especially for beginners, and we'll show you the reason why. It has to do with mostly with that ending and what you have to do to get the ending to work right. Now let's look at some added workarounds. We tested our beater secret and we found a number 30 is perfect for what we'll be doing in that strand we'll be stringing for our site later on this week, the first week of June in 2019. And one workaround is to get around using a thread end burner. Thread end burner works great, but if you were to happen to let that heated element get over on the wrong line and burn through there, you'd have to start the whole project over. So one workaround on that is, will this beater secret cut without a thread end burner? And it will. So we've got a temporary thing here to show, and this is some violet colored beater secret. Comes in lots of colors. And will it cut with just normal beading sealers that you can find a lot of places? Well, let's try it and see. Well, it did. So that means we could get by without using that thread end burner. And another thing you can use, especially on that last thing where you're got the ending, is a set of flush cutters. And bring in our flush cutters. And if this works, we know that we can get by without using a thread-end burner. Nail down. Oh, it does. So now we get around using a thread-end burner with this. And now let's look at Power Pro and see if we can make that same option over there. All right, now let's look at Power Pro. It's extremely strong, durable, and great for doing pearl stringing. However, it's difficult to cut, as we said earlier. And it's why we recommend the beaters a thread-end burner for it. It's pretty well needed for that last knot. But there's a way now to get around that also. You might be a little worried about getting the wrong place, but on your thread-end burner, if you burn out that wrong line, you have to start over. So this is a Power Pro, and it's in the other color that beaters often use, and that's moss green. Moss green and white is colors that you'll find that beaters use hand-tied pearls. So now let's check this out. First of all, we use some Fiskar scissors, and I was told in the advertisement they'd work. Well, they don't. And we can check that flush cutter, and it should do it maybe. And it don't. Now the Dr. Slick scissors are a whole nother animal. Now you can get these just by internet search. They sell for around $9 on Amazon and through fishing circles. And the way to find them is look for what we showed on that card is Dr. Slick braid scissors. This is a braided line and waxed, and that's the reason that the waxing is part of the reason it won't cut very well. But let's try our Dr. Slick blade on this. Dr. Slick's braid scissors. Oh, so it will cut it. So, and now let's look at something else about Power Pro. It's really tough on your fingers. So there's a good thing for that, and it's available through Patty on her Beater Secret site. And it's inexpensive, and it's called safety tape or safety finger tape. You can also find it some other places on the internet. Let's look at that now and how it works. All right, this is called safety fingers tape, and it's a heavy-duty surgical gauze with latex rubber. And you put that on whatever surface of your hand or fingers is might tend to get a little sore because of how tough that Power Pro is. And if you're doing a whole lot of Beater Secrets, you might need it too. And it sticks to itself, but it won't stick to you, and also is breathable. So I put some on my index finger here, and that's one of the areas that I use to pull that string tight. So that will protect me from the cord. It won't affect the cord at all. And also it doesn't stick to your fingers, and it'll come right off when you're through. So this works good for you to kind of save on your fingers, especially if you're doing several pearls at a steady. And I think you'll find that this is worthwhile for you. You may not need it if you're using Beater Secret and only plan to do one, but it's handy to have if you're going to get into this a little bit deeper or you're a professional. And it does really work well. All right, real quick review of what we've covered here. To get started, you always go with 5 times the length you're shooting for, I think. And that gives you plenty of cord. You don't mind having some left at the end. And all the corded material you use is relatively cheap per inch. And you can buy it in low enough quantities that it won't cost you much. You can get it in 10 or 20 yards as you need to. And to contact us, if you're on our YouTube channel, which you can find just Lord's Jewelry Pearls YouTube, you can make comments, and we'll answer the comments or questions if you have any. And you also will probably want to subscribe to our channel because we'll have more how to do it videos. And if you ask a question that others are interested in, we might make a video of whatever you're interested in. And as a GIA gemologist, I can give you my professional opinion on several things that I know about. And if I don't feel like I know enough about it, I could probably give you a website link. So Beater Secret comes in lots of colors, and a good example of that is in October we used some pink with white for Breast Cancer Awareness Month on our full strands. And another thing you can do is use a double knot between the pearls if you'd like the knots to show. And one other way that could come into play is, say you test number 30 and the knot goes up inside the pearl, and then you go and test 20 and you find out it's a little bit too big. Well, then what you can do is you can double knot each one of the pearls in the main section away from the ends, and that will solve that problem for you. So once again, we welcome you to Lloyd's Jewelry, and we appreciate questions and comments, and we can make you a special order. And if you decide you don't want to tie any pearls today, there's probably something on our site that you could purchase, and we'll guarantee it. And we have a 30-day warranty, and on shipping, we only have one shipping and handling charge, and the second, third item ship free. It allows you to pick out some smaller cost items to go with a purchase and not pay extra for it. So once again, happy beading. I know this video is really long. I'm sorry about that, but I want it to be thorough. And if you don't think it's thorough enough to help you out, just send me a question and we'll answer it. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, when you're on our YouTube channel, down in the description section, you can click to and go directly to our Etsy.com store, and you can click on the picture on the left-hand side of my wife and I that's on YouTube, and when you click on that profile photo, it'll show you what all video is on the channel, and you might see something else you'd like to look into. So once again, happy beading, and I hope this works out for you. Questions and answers are available. Just get in touch with us.